Morning. Well, I am very encouraged today to be able to share a story with you. A story that I've been telling for a lot of years. It's based on an old ancient medieval legend or folktale from England called The Peddler of Swaffham. Although variations of this story you find in different cultures around the world. And I adapted it to a juggling story years ago, go figure. And today get to present it as a Christmas story. And so I'm very encouraged by that, but also for the first time get to share the story with you with help from some great kids that have been willing to be part of this story about the juggler's gift. So what I want to do now is I want to call the kids on out here. Are they close to being ready? Almost. Go ahead. The ones of you that are, you can come out and have a seat. They're getting their medievally looking costumes on right now. We have 3 more. Well, I tell you what, while they're finishing up getting ready, we'll go ahead and get started with the story. So thank you guys for being willing to help me tell the story of the juggler's gift. Now, a medieval juggler needs to look a little bit more jestery, don't you think? Once upon a time, there were more kids. Come on out, girls, and have a seat. Once upon a time, near a little town called Swaffham, or maybe a little town called Fremont, I don't know, there was a juggler. And the juggler, every day in this town, would stand on the busiest street corner in town, and he would juggle for people as they walked by. Now the people in the morning were walking on their way to work or to school, and oftentimes their faces looked like this. Because it was early in the morning, and they didn't want to be walking to work or to school. But they would stop and watch the juggler juggle for a while, and an amazing transformation would happen to their faces. Something like this. And they would have a better day because of the gift of juggling that We're starting it all over right now. We started it all over about 3 minutes ago. So it's going great. You're doing great right now. I know Nora missed our practice this morning, but she knows what she's doing. She's just going to follow you, okay? Right? Okay, let me get back to the story. So, oh yes. So, the juggler's gift to the people of juggling helped them to have better days. Well, there was a special group of kids. I am old, Riley. I'm getting older by the moment. There was a special group of young kids who would come and watch the juggler juggle every day. And they were so excited about juggling, they wanted to juggle too. And so they ran home and brought back different things from home that they could do some juggling with. You guys want to run home real quick and go get your stuff? Yep. And then bring it back out. And if we could have a little juggling music to go with it at this time, that would be great. Here they come. Oh, they brought feathers from home. You can go right down to the there we go. Perfect. All right. A plate. Come on out, girls. And spread out and juggle those juggling scarves that you brought from home. Oh, juggle for the people out there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these junior jugglers a hand. All right, you all can go on off stage now. But you'll be coming back out in just a little bit. Well, as the year would go on, the days would get colder, and every year the juggler felt a little older. And then Christmas time began to approach. Now, at Christmas time, it was colder out, and so fewer people would stop and watch the juggler juggle. But that was okay because he still gave his gift to anybody who would watch for at least a little bit. One day, the juggler, and it was actually Christmas Eve, the juggler was juggling on his street corner when he felt a child approach and tap him on the shoulder. And he asked the child, "What do you want?"
Can I please have a ball?
"One of my juggling balls?" The juggler thought, if I give away one of my juggling balls, I'll only have 2 juggling balls to juggle with. And you can still juggle with 2, just not as good as with 3. But he could tell that this child probably dreamed of having a toy like this juggling ball to play with. And he was a very generous juggler, and so he gave that child that juggling ball. And off he ran to show his friends, I guess. Well, the juggler could still juggle, but if you're only going to juggle with 2, you only use 1 hand, but you can change hands. And so the juggler was still having a good time juggling. People were watching and still juggling or enjoying it. And then another child approached on that same Christmas Eve day and tapped him on the shoulder. Oh, he asked the child, "What do you want?" And the child,
I want one of your balls.
"You want one of my juggling balls too? But if I give away another juggling ball," thought the juggler, "I'll only have 1 juggling ball left, and you really can't juggle with just 1. But he could see that that child probably dreamed of having a toy like this juggling ball to play with, and so he gave the little boy that juggling ball, and off he ran to show his friends. Well, that left the juggler with just 1 juggling ball, and you really can't juggle with 1, but you can still have fun with it. You can toss it up and down. You can toss it to somebody in the audience who hopefully could catch it and toss it back, all right? And people still had fun watching the juggler, but fewer people nowadays. Well, then the third child, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling here. Third child on that same Christmas Eve day came and tapped him on the shoulder. No. Oh, not you yet. We need to put a barrier or something up over there. He asked the child, "What do you want?" And the little child said,
Can I please have a juggling ball?
"If I give away my last juggling ball," the juggler thought, "I won't have anything to even sort of juggle with, and then I'll have no way of making any money because juggling's all I know how to do." But he could see that that little boy probably dreamed of having a juggling ball like this for a toy. And so he gave that juggling ball to the boy, and off he ran to show his friends and give all the juggling balls to Miss Kelly right now, which is what we were supposed to do. We practiced that. And that left the juggler with nothing to juggle. And I mentioned earlier that the juggler lived on the outskirts of town down a windy dirt road in a small shack, I think. And out behind that shack was that large rock. And so the juggler climbed up on top of that rock, and he looked up at the stars, and he looked past the stars to the maker of the stars, and he asked he asked, "What do I do now, Lord?" And then he went to bed. Nope, not yet. Get control back there, Miss Kelly. And so the juggler went to sleep, and as he lay sleeping, he had a dream, and in his dream, an angel of the Lord came and stood at the foot of his bed and said to him, "Juggler, tomorrow, Christmas Day, get up and walk into town. Stand on your street corner, and there you will receive the greatest Christmas gift of all." And so the juggler got up the next morning, and he walked into town down that windy dirt road, And he stood on that street corner, and all day long people passed him back and forth. Nobody gave him anything. At the end of the day, he was pretty sad. But just then, a little girl came up to him, who really shouldn't be in her angel costume right now. But that's okay. And gave him the juggling balls. And he asked her, "How did you get the juggling ball?" And she told him that 3 of her friends gave her these juggling balls to try to make her feel better because she had been sick. And she wanted to give the juggling balls back to the juggler. And the juggler thought that was a great gift. Maybe this is the greatest Christmas gift ever. But then she asked the juggler, "Why were you standing on your street corner not juggling?" And the juggler said, "I had a dream." And the little girl said, "You had a dream? I had a dream too." And the juggler said, "Well, what was your dream?" And the little girl said, "Down the outskirts of town, down a windy dirt road, there's a small shack. And out behind that shack is a big rock. And if you dig a hole at the bottom of that rock, you will find the greatest Christmas gift ever." So the juggler decided to walk home, followed by all of the kids. And they all got to that big rock, and he dug a hole at the bottom of that rock, and he found a chest. Ugh, look out, I don't want to set this on your foot. And he opened that chest, and inside that chest, he saw a book. A book. And in that book was the greatest Christmas gift ever, because it was the story of Jesus. Now, here's what needs to happen. You 3 need to go off stage and be ready for your entrance to come back on. You boys, you have a very special job to do, and that is to play the part of an angel who appears before some shepherds one night. So come over here and be ready. Perfect. All right. Colin. Over here. In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them,
"Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings that shall be to all people done."
Next.
Unto you that's born this day in the city of David, that's Christ the Lord.
And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling cloths, lying in a manger.
And now some special music, Away in the Manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, okay, girls, Heavenly host.
Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace, goodwill to people.
And now, please stand and sing Angels We Have Heard on High. Ladies and gentlemen, every time you do a Christmas program, people look forward to the little mistakes that are going to happen. I think we may have set a record, which is very impressive with such a small cast. Let me get our cast up here so that I can introduce them to you. Come back, Riley. Come back, Riley. Come on out here, Nora, so that the people can meet you. If they haven't already, this is Camden. This is Kaylor. This is Cullen. And this is Calliope Jones. And this is Riley Price. And Nora Smalls back there being shy right now. Hey, we're all going to go to the jelly room now and maybe do some more juggling and maybe learn a little bit more about Jesus. Follow me.